Hey guys, Kevin. Thank you for joining us again this week. So as you can see here, we're at the food plot area we were in the last video. The last video we were clearing a lot of this stuff out, and you can see there's still a little bit to clean up, but it's all small brushy stuff that we'll probably do with the grapple on the skid steer at this point. So the purpose today is we're going to start, I mentioned it in the last video, but we got the redneck blind right there. My son's 6 and got into hunting last year, and anyways, he's gonna be bow hunting this year with a crossbow just because he can't pull enough weight back to do a regular bow yet. But so that's the whole reason we cleared this food plot here, where he just sees more deer and more activity for him. We got the Kubota 057 warming up, but we left this one cedar tree right there just so that they've already got rubs on it, and then there's scrapes under it generally before we did all this, so we just left it there. And what we plan on doing is right here digging a water hole. It won't be a pond by any means, literally just a water hole. There's some good clay in the soil on this bank here, so we're gonna have to dig off the top layer of clay and just make a 18-inch 2-foot deep, you know, not big by any means, maybe 20-30 feet across, just a water hole. We do not have a lot of water on this property. We got the ditches that run through it, but they're dry a lot of times, and then if they're not dry, they're running water, and the deer don't tend to like it. So we're gonna hop on the excavator here and start digging this water hole. All right, so let's start digging and see if we can get down to some clay here. Like I said, we're really not trying to do anything big by any means, just a little hole that will be just deep enough to hold water all year, hopefully. Foot and a half deep, and we're already getting into some good clay, so that's why I chose to put the water hole up here. Ideally, I would have liked it down farther towards the wood line, just as water, like you can see this hill behind us, water comes and flows into here, which is part of the main thing in choosing a water hole, is you don't want it on a 100% flat surface where no runoff comes into it, because then it's really hard to keep it full. But up on the bottom, the other day I dug a test hole just where I kind of wanted the water hole, and it had, I was 5 or 6 foot deep and still very, very little clay, not enough to hold what I would need for water. So I kind of ex-nayed that plan and did a little test hole up here right on the other side of this tree, and it was like this, and has clay in it, so that's what we really need. So sometimes when you're doing these water holes, unless you want to bring in clay from somewhere else and pack it down there, which I didn't want to do, I just, like I said, this isn't anything elaborate, this isn't anything fancy at all. I just need a water hole for deer, so it doesn't even have to be pretty. A lot of people will take dig a little hole and put like a kid's pool in there, or a bucket, or cut a 55-gallon drum in half and do water holes that way. I'm just more of a fan of the natural water holes, and if you got an excavator, or skid steer, or even a tractor with a bucket on it, it's not hard to dig one as long as you got some clay content. And I just think it looks better. I think the wildlife like it better in a more of a natural feel. But that's just my personal opinion. Plus, I'm kind of a cheapskate and don't want to pay for a big metal tub to bury in the ground when I can do it right here myself. And then the rest of this dirt, like some of that clay is mixed in on that dirt, so I won't use it on the food plot just because it's not super. The more clay it is, it's harder to grow a good food plot in. So I'm just scraping it off until we get there, and then most of the dirt that I'm taking out right here will I'll just put it in a pile on the side of the plot in case I need clay somewhere. But as of right now, I don't think I will. But I'll move all that out of the way with the skid steer. Right there, a tree I knocked down is just a little root, but it's deep in there. So you want to make sure you get all that out. Those are you guys that haven't seen the first intro video, so we're just doing all this on our personal farm. We're not contractors or anything, so I'm by no shape or form machine operator by any form. I just do it here on my own. So if you guys have any tips or tricks or anything along the way, definitely share them with me. I'm here to learn for sure, because there's definitely a lot better operators out there, guys that know a lot more than I do. We're just a do-it-ourselves thing, and I just like doing this type of stuff as much as anything. And on the other hand, if you have any questions about what we're doing or anything like that, and if it's something that I do have enough knowledge to help you on, I'm definitely here to help too. So just leave the comments and below, and I'll be happy to get back to you on anything that I can. So as of right now, we want it a little bit bigger on this side right here, but after that it doesn't need to be much bigger. I'll just need to get to some clay on this top side, which I haven't fully got to yet right here. So we'll see how deep I got to go. If nothing else, I will go a little deeper on the far bottom side up there and pull some of the clay up here. But we shouldn't be much farther away from it right here. So if you leave black dirt in the bottom of it, it will definitely seep. So you definitely want to get down to some type of clay base. And if you're in an area that doesn't have clay, the other thing you can do that's not super expensive is you can dig it, and then they make liners and put a liner in it, and then put dirt over that liner, and it works as well. We're just lucky enough to have clay in most of the areas here that we can do it with. Alright, I got that camera moved, so hopefully you can see a little better at a different angle. I apologize, I'm a newbie as far as these videos, and I'm just doing it for recreational fun as well, so I definitely will learn a lot along the way, I'm sure, here as far as how to video it and make it better quality for you guys out there. As you can see, it doesn't, that's not good. So I just hit a rock right there. A rock, so hopefully I'll put that away so it doesn't get hit by other equipment when we go to plant later, but hopefully it's just a few scattered rocks right there and it's nothing crazy, because if that's the case, we're gonna have to make sure we dig all the rock part out of it, or it will never hold for sure. Yeah, it looks like it's just a few there, so that's probably a good sign. And we're in kind of the hills of the Midwest here, so we definitely have a lot of rock, and that's what scares me a little bit. Is I've been wanting to put a pond up behind my house for a long time, but with this size equipment, I want a pond that's big enough to kids to be able to fish in and stuff. I just know it will take some time, which I'm good, but trying to make sure I'm in an area that does not have rock. That would suck to use all that time and get that far into the project and realize you can't get through the rock, or there's too much rock for it to seal. So you guys out there that are more experienced in building ponds themselves, definitely let me know if there's any tricks or test holes, or what the best way to find out over the area of what you're hoping to put the pond, of where there's dirt or not dirt, where there's rock or not rock. That would help for sure. Luckily on water holes this size, like what we're doing today, there's not really the worst case if you know, we're 10 minutes in and you realize it's something that's not going to work. It's easy to fill the hole back in, no harm, no foul type of thing. But if you go for a pond that you're going to want to be 10 foot deep and, you know, a half acre or something for a fishing pond, last thing you want to do is find that out at the bottom of it and then have that much time wrapped up into it for no reason. Good on clay on the bottom side. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come around down here a little bit where I can kind of dig this upside. Like I said, right now I probably in the middle, it's a little deeper than what it truly needs to be per se, which isn't necessarily a problem, but I don't really need to go much deeper, so we'll try to get clay off of this top side here, or get down to clay on this top side here. That way we can then shape it, and then all the runoff from this hill should fill it fairly quick. We've done a couple of these, and this is actually the first one I've ever done on this farm, but I've done a couple of them on other farms with buddies and stuff, and they turn out really cool. We've had one that didn't hold water, but the good thing about that is if it doesn't hold water, it goes empty, then you're back down to a starting point to kind of know where you're at. You can fix it. The other thing is right here, I want to make sure, like, there's a couple more rocks I just hit. I want to make sure I get some of the rock out, and I'm going to take some clay off of this bottom side once I know there's no rock right there, and pack it up on this top side a little better. This, I'm not as good as some of these guys that have done it enough to kind of know, so I probably take out a little more dirt than what I really need to. Like, as you can see, some of that dirt coming out right now is clay, but it's still got some black dirt in it, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm a novice novice at this. I don't know exactly where that is, so I kind of err on the side of caution as far as making sure I'm down to an acceptable layer so that it seals. Top side, I don't want it to be a drop off. I want it to kind of be a staggered in area where the deer can easily drink and not be, you know, having to put their head 2 foot down into it. So a lot of that we'll do with the skid steer as well. Once we get the digging part done, all this dirt we're putting here, we'll get out of the way with a skid steer and shape. And I've seen a lot of guys that are super fast with doing it with an excavator. I'm just not that fast yet. I can do it faster with the skid steer, so I still tend to go that route, but I'll get there eventually. Okay, so we finally got out of the rocks right there, so I don't want to go too much farther. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean up the edge a little bit, and then we can get some, not even the edge, but this corner per se. Then I'm going to get some of that clay from the bottom side and fill in a little bit. We got a couple roots over here I still need to get. Like I said in the last video, I hope if anything, these videos just give people a little bit of confidence to go try this type of stuff. Like I said, I've never been an equipment operator. Everything I've done has been self-taught learning, and I just think it's cool, especially on your own farm, to learn to do some of this stuff. So definitely don't let it steer you away from trying it. None of this is rocket science, but there's definitely skill to it, and it takes time to get used to it. And the worst case, no different than this water hole right here, if at the end of the day I dig all this and it doesn't work, you're not really out anything. I could troubleshoot and figure out why it didn't work and fix it, or if I got that frustrated, I could just say I don't want to deal with it no more and fill it back in. No matter what, you're not at a loss. So that's what I hope more than anything these videos show, is just get out there and enjoy outdoors. Don't be limited by what you think you can do, because like I said on the last video, I've got 55 hours on this excavator right now, which I just bought a month ago. But before I bought this excavator, I bet I don't have 15 or 20 hours on an excavator, period. So, you know, I'm 75 or less hours in an excavator, and like I said, I'm not good by any means, but I can wrestle through what needs done and get what I need to do there. So. So I'm going to clean this bottom a little bit. And it doesn't have to be anything special, because like I said, it fills up with water, and deer actually like the kind of muddy stuff. So I'm going to take, like you can see, this side has a lot of clay on it. Like you can see, that's almost solid clay. I'm moving some of that to this other side. Like I don't know if you can tell from the video, but that clay's just got that different color to it, and it's way harder. Like trying to dig through this right now is way harder than that black dirt. So we'll get this moved over there, and then we'll kind of compact it. And generally speaking, I will get all this dirt out of the way and get this kind of somewhat packed. I'll get the bottom packed for sure, but like as far as the sides and stuff of the little water hole, I won't fully do until I know it holds water. So we're supposed to get a rain here in a week or so, and just make sure everything's good before you put all the final touches on it per se. But if you go through it, and this is just the first, but if you go through there and just like we're doing and just push this down and compact it, that's what you need to do. You don't want to leave it there just the clay just loose. The more you compact it, the better it'll be and the better it will seal. And on these, I don't use a level or anything like that, or laser, none of that. It's just kind of eyeballing them, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's one purpose of a natural water hole, so I'm not looking for pretty. In my opinion, for this purpose, the more natural it can look, the better it is for me. I don't want my water hole in the middle of a food plot to look like somebody came and built a pond in the middle of it, like a built one. You know, you want it to look like it's been there forever. And so this is packing real nice. And we'll just go around the whole edge and pack and get that. So right through here, if there ever is runoff, there will be runoff right somewhere in there. What we'll do after we know it holds water is I will take and dig a little overflow. I won't put a pipe or anything in it, but just a little overflow where if it does rain a lot in the spring and it's filled up, that it doesn't blow it out or wash everything out, just where it can have a way to go. And right down there, goes into the ditch anyways. So right where this pond is kind of, or water hole is kind of a natural watershed way anyways. So it'll just go down there past it like it naturally would. And I don't even know if you necessarily have to do that per se. Like I said, I'm not a dirt guy, to be honest with you. I just learn as I go here. But I've always just done it because it seems like it should be in my head. So I don't know how good you guys can see, but as you can see now, there's at least a layer of clay over all of it. I'm still going to do a little bit more. So now this side over here is probably 3 foot deep, which is overkill for what I was really wanting. But it's just kind of how it worked out for it to get the clay across it like I think it needs to be. I would rather go a little deeper and get it right and it hold water all year than not go deep enough and wish I had done something different later. Get this little black dirt off. Right there, as you can see, it's not clay, so I'll take some of this clay, clay the edges of it. It's got to be perfect, but I just try to get it packed as I can, and these corners are like that are hard to pack. You just kind of do the best you can. But the other thing is, I try to make it to where, me personally, I don't like a huge drop off. I like some type of natural flow to it. So as you can see, this edge kind of rolls, but the edge over here by where the bucket is still flat up and down. So after I move all that dirt on that side with the skid loader, I will edge that side off too. All right guys, as you can see, we're out now, and I don't know how good you can see, but there's all the lighter stuff is a clay, and then the black dirt around it. The black dirt's what we don't want on the bottom. So overall right here is about 3 foot deep. We'll kind of feather this edge out a little bit here, feather it out more, and then that side. But how this side over here, how that transition is kind of how we want it around the whole thing. And then all this water coming off should fill this, and it should be a water hole all the time. So I'm gonna cut it short today. That's what I just wanted to bring you. That's what I wanted to get done. That way over the winter it can hopefully fill up, and by spring when we're here to plant all this and food plot, hopefully we'll have a nice water hole here and the wildlife can start utilizing it. So I'm gonna get all this dirt moved out, then at the end of the video I'll try to give you just a sneak peek of it. Like I said, it won't be anything pretty. It's just kind of a natural water hole for our purpose. But thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We'll be doing all these videos on all the improvements we do on our land. We just try to make our land the best possible and do it ourselves. So we're learning as we go. Like I said, we're not experts by any means. We're here to just bring content to you guys, kind of show you what we're doing, and you know, we could possibly help you with ideas and what you're doing as well. But if you guys need anything, definitely reach out, leave the comment section below. And until next time, you guys take care, and I'll see you then.